Smallpox was one of humanity's most feared viruses, a brutal infection that caused raging fevers, vomiting, and huge blistering lesions that covered the entire body. Survivors were left permanently scarred or blinded, but most people didn't survive at all. It killed about 30% of everyone infected and wiped out entire indigenous populations in the Americas. There was never a true cure, only prevention. After centuries of devastation, a global vaccination campaign finally eradicated it in 1980, the single greatest victory in medical history. The bubonic plague, caused by Yersinia pestis, spread through fleas on rats and unleashed pure terror everywhere it appeared. The infection caused massive, blackened lymph node swellings called buboes, followed by fever, vomiting, and organ failure. During the Black Death in the 1300s, it killed up to half of Europe's population, becoming one of the most catastrophic events in human history. There was no cure then, but today antibiotics can save lives if given early. Left untreated, it remains one of the deadliest bacteria ever discovered. The 1918 Spanish flu was a viral monster. It attacked immune systems so violently that strong, healthy young adults died within hours as their lungs filled with fluid. Bodies turned blue, hospitals collapsed, and entire communities vanished overnight. It infected a third of the planet and killed tens of millions in just 2 years, more than all of World War I. There were no antivirals or vaccines then. Today we're better prepared, but a strain this aggressive would still shake the world. Malaria is a parasitic infection carried by mosquitoes, one that shaped human evolution itself. It invades the liver, destroys red blood cells, and causes waves of fever, seizures, and fatal organ failure. Throughout history, it has killed more people than any other disease, billions over thousands of years. Even now, it infects hundreds of millions annually and kills mostly children. There's no single cure, but anti-malarial drugs, mosquito control, and new vaccines have become powerful weapons in the fight. Tuberculosis is a slow, relentless bacterial infection that destroys the lungs over months or years. People cough nonstop, lose weight, cough up blood, and slowly suffocate as their lungs collapse. TB spreads easily through the air and remains one of humanity's biggest killers, claiming more than 1 million lives each year. Drug-resistant strains make treatment even harder. Some forms require years of toxic antibiotics. It can be cured, but only with long and consistent medical care. HIV attacks the immune system itself, dismantling the body's defenses until even minor infections become deadly. What starts quietly eventually becomes AIDS, and without treatment, it's fatal. Since the 1980s, HIV has killed millions worldwide and reshaped global health forever. There's still no cure, but modern antiretroviral therapy can suppress the virus so effectively that people live long, healthy lives. Access to treatment, however, remains unequal, keeping HIV a deadly threat in many regions. Cholera is a waterborne bacterial infection that drains the body of fluids at an extreme pace. Victims can lose liters of water in hours as violent diarrhea and vomiting cause organ collapse. Historically called the Blue Death, cholera ravaged crowded cities and triggered multiple pandemics in the 1800s. Without treatment, it can kill half of all infected people in a single day. But with simple rehydration therapy and clean water, survival rates are incredibly high, making it both deadly and completely preventable. Ebola is a hemorrhagic virus that shuts down organs, triggers internal bleeding, and causes rapid death. It spreads through bodily fluids, often in caregiving settings or burial practices. Fatality rates have reached as high as 90% in some outbreaks. During the 2014 West African crisis, it overwhelmed hospitals and sparked global panic. There's no universal cure, but new antivirals and vaccines have reduced mortality. Still, Ebola remains one of the most terrifying pathogens known to science. Rabies is the deadliest infection on Earth, almost always fatal once symptoms begin. Spread through animal bites, the virus travels along nerves into the brain, causing hallucinations, paralysis, aggression, confusion, and hydrophobia, the fear of water. Once these symptoms appear, there is no treatment. Death is inevitable. But rabies is entirely preventable. Immediate post-exposure vaccines can stop the virus before it reaches the brain, making quick action the difference between life and death. Measles is one of the most contagious viruses ever recorded. It spreads through the air and can linger in a room for hours after an infected person leaves. It causes fever, rash, and a dangerous weakening of the immune system that can last for months. Before vaccines, measles killed millions of children every year. Even today, complications like pneumonia or fatal brain swelling can occur. There's no cure, but the MMR vaccine is incredibly effective, which is why outbreaks are a serious concern where vaccination rates fall. Polio was once every parent's nightmare. The virus infects the nervous system and can cause sudden paralysis, often in children. Some victims lose the ability to walk, others lose the ability to breathe and rely on iron lungs to survive. Mid-20th century outbreaks caused widespread fear. There's no cure once paralysis sets in, but vaccines nearly eradicated polio worldwide. Only a few regions still battle it, standing as a reminder of a disease we came close to defeating forever. COVID-19, caused by SARS-CoV-2, is a respiratory and vascular disease that reshaped modern life. It spreads through droplets in the air, causing anything from mild symptoms to deadly pneumonia, clotting disorders, and long-term complications. In a few short years, it killed millions and disrupted society on a scale unseen in generations. There's no cure, but vaccines and antiviral drugs were developed to combat it. It marked a turning point in global public health. MERS, or Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, is another deadly coronavirus, usually transmitted from camels to humans. It causes sudden fever, cough, and rapid respiratory failure with a fatality rate far higher than COVID. Fortunately, it spreads poorly between people, which has kept it from becoming a global disaster. There's no cure and no widely available vaccine, meaning if it ever mutates to spread more easily, it could become one of the deadliest respiratory diseases we know. Marburg virus is a rare but catastrophic hemorrhagic disease closely related to Ebola. It causes sudden high fever, severe headaches, massive internal bleeding, liver failure, and shock. Fatality rates in some outbreaks have reached nearly 90%. With no cure, no approved treatment, and no widely available vaccine, the only effective defense is rapid containment and supportive care. Marburg outbreaks are small, but each one is a race against an incredibly lethal pathogen. Prion diseases, like Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, are caused not by viruses or bacteria, but by corrupted proteins that force healthy brain proteins to fold the wrong way. This triggers rapid brain destruction, memory loss, personality change, loss of movement, and neurological collapse. Symptoms progress brutally fast, and death is unavoidable. There is no cure, no treatment, and no way to slow the disease. Prions remain one of the most mysterious, nightmarish threats in medicine.